All right, welcome everybody. This has become a biannual event because a lot of people are very interested in this topic and the energies that we're in, like the current, like what is happening right now. So I'm very happy to have those of you who are here live and everybody else who is watching the recording. We had a lot of people register for this, so that makes me very happy that people are interested in this. So for those of you who may not know me, because I saw quite a few names of people that I didn't recognize. So for anybody who doesn't know me, my name is Allie Phillips. My business is Manifested Harmony. I am celebrating the 13th year of my business. So basically, Manifested Harmony is now an unruly teenager. So who knows what this teenager of a business is going to be doing for the next 5 years? so I'm holding on to my hat. So I have been an attorney for 30 years. Let me get to that. And I've lost track of how many certifications I have. I think I have 10 certifications, 4 in coaching. I'm a Reiki master teacher, integrated energy therapy master instructor. I'm an advanced crystal master teacher where I teach the science. I teach about essential oils. I focus a lot on animals, but like being an attorney where I studied and still study the laws, I also study universal laws and have been really tracking frequency that influences us as far back as 2005, but really, really started intensely, if not daily, then weekly tracking since 2020. So I'm going to dive into a little bit of that because, we follow man-made laws, but we are also influenced by what I call frequency laws. We may not see them, we may not understand them, but they're there and they influence us. And if you can get out of your left logical brain, and as an attorney, I totally understand that. And if you can get into your right, more creative, intuitive brain, it just opens up a whole new world for you. And you start to see patterns and start to realize, that things are shifting and you're not going crazy in the process. That's the moral of the story. I want you to know you're not going crazy. So this all comes out of a community that I created and launched it in December of 2020. And I wanted to create a community of action takers, of people who were just frankly sick and tired of feeling sick and tired and lethargic and unmotivated. And they were on emotional roller coasters and like they were being very influenced by everything happening in the world and they just felt pushed and pulled all the time. And so I created a community of action takers where I pull together all of my certifications, all of my training. And I did this after utilizing all of these techniques to learn how to flow with energy and not force it. Because believe me, I was the queen of jamming a square peg into a round hole. And you get exhausted and you get burned out. And so I started utilizing these techniques during a very difficult time when my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, was in an assisted living facility that was really hard on me and my dad, and she ended up passing away. And then not too long thereafter, I lost my dad too. So I have been tapping into the lessons that I teach this community because we have some pretty high potent and high potential energies that we are in right now. And that's why I created the Sacred Shift. So you're going to get like a little like intro to the things that we talk about as a community, because we're in our 4th year and I see the shifts that people are going through. So let's take a look at what's going on. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. Okay, and I will pay attention. I will open up the chat box and pay attention if you have any questions. So I want to talk about the energy shift. Hey, if you've got essential oils, I would highly recommend that you oil up right now. Okay, I'm gonna talk about some stuff that maybe you're super familiar with, or you're gonna be like, what is this information? So it doesn't matter what the oil is. Doesn't matter. Grab an oil. Grab an oil. Okay. So, oh, that's good. Rise Above oil. One of my favorites. So we've been in what is loosely called an energy shift since at least November 11th of 2011. So 11, 11, 11. Some people say it started well before that. Some people say it really kicked into gear in 2020. Some people call it the Ascension, the Great Awakening, the Golden Age. And what it is it really aligns with Earth as a planet moving into a new zodiac sign. Okay, so there's 12 zodiac signs, and everyone who works in this field all agree at this point that we have entered the age of Aquarius. So cue the music and the kumbaya and running around with little flower crowns and hugging kittens and puppies. So we are in the age of Aquarius. Well, each zodiac cycle is about 2,125 years. Okay, so we are just at the beginning of it. But it is part of this great awakening. And you may see it in other people, you may see it in yourself, because collectively, and that's kind of how I'm going to refer to human beings. I'm just going to call them the collective. Collectively, people are questioning everything more now than ever. There is a war on truth. No one knows what is true anymore. And with the advent of artificial intelligence, we really don't know what's true. I'm actually going to talk to you about some tools that you can use to discern truth, because I just see crap on social media, and all it takes is like 30 seconds of investigating, and it's like, yeah, that's not true. Yeah, that's not true. So we're also seeing like instant karma, instant, like that fast. We are seeing just a lot of people wake up and look at things. And so I always look at things and ask, well, why now? Why now? Yes, we're in an energy shift. Yes, I totally get it. But like, why did we have a pandemic, and why are we so divided? And it's not just the United States, it's other countries. You know, why are we seeing the karmic fall of influential people? Why are we seeing a backtracking of freedoms? And women in particular are losing their freedoms, and other populations of people are losing their freedoms that they fought to get, and now all of a sudden the snowball is going down the hill in an opposite direction. Why are institutions and lifestyles and beliefs collapsing? Why now? Well, it's part of the energy shift. And this shift is going to continue, like the really intense part of the shift is going to continue until 2032. 2032. So for anybody, and I get a lot of people who ask me, are we going to be good at the end of the year? Oh, no, sweet pea. We are we are in the full throttle of this right now. And I'll explain a little more of what that means. But it's just interesting, and how I look at things that happen in the world. And I talk to my Sacred Shift community about this. Always come at things with curiosity rather than judgment and screaming your opinion. nobody's going to change their opinions on anything at this point. Okay, people are rooted in the timeline that they are living on. But when you come from curiosity and ask questions, you actually evolve as a human being and at a soul level. So before 2020, and type in the chat if you resonate with this part. So before 2020, people were in a lifestyle of being so busy. I mean, wasn't that the tag phrase that whenever you saw a friend and you're like, oh my gosh, how are you? I haven't seen you in forever. How you doing? And they would say, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. Remember that? Everybody was so busy and experiencing burnout and getting sick and getting depleted. Adrenal fatigue was going crazy. And then we all know what happened in 2020. We then moved collectively to being disconnected and feeling disconnected. And then adopting that as a behavior. There's still people here in 2024 that are still isolating. They're very disconnected. They don't want to be around people. They got really comfortable just being in their little bubble. Not judging that, not saying that's a good or a bad thing. It's just that's what happened. Also, people engaging in numbing behaviors, like chronic scrolling of social media without any purpose, binge watching Netflix and TV shows, shifting careers, walking away from careers, walking away from things that were toxic. So it was a huge spiritual revolution. And now in the energy shift, and this I just really noticed in the last month. And man, I think I talked about this for 45 minutes in our Sacred Shift meetup on Sunday. But here's the short gist. We are experiencing what's called a timeline split, where you got people in one reality, and I want you to see it. Oh, I wish I had a good example. Like books on a page, or pages in a book. Okay, you got two pages side by side. You got people on one page, and they have one set of reality, and then you got people on another page, and they have another set of reality, and they can literally look at the same thing and have two polar opposite viewpoints about it. And we're all seeing it. Well, each page is a timeline. Well, with the energy shift, what is happening, instead of the pages being very close to each other, where you can flip back and forth in the timelines, now the timelines are doing this, they're separating. And it's once you're on a timeline, I can't say now, whether it's now or whether it's coming in a month, 6 months, a year, but at some point you're going to be stuck on your timeline. So the divide is growing, and I come at it from curiosity, and I look at it like, isn't that fascinating? Why is that happening? I ask a lot of questions about stuff. So there's a lot of things happening that are coming together to create a lot of the upheaval and the chaos and the change that we are experiencing. And in my opinion, because this is really what I focus on, this is what I deeply research, it is nothing to fear. Zero to fear. It's actually quite exciting. I mean, it's just a fantastic time to be a part of it, because what is happening is we are being upgraded as human beings. I mean, humans have gone through evolutionary changes since the beginning. Since the beginning. I mean, I want you to think back when you were a child and think back to your grandparents. How they lived life is not anything how we live life now. And I used to joke about it with my parents, because they're like, you know, everything was very set in stone, and there were certain things that you did, went to school, got a job, got married, had children, retired, and died. And you did it in that order. And if you went out of order, ooh, the family was not going to be happy. Well, now, I mean, all of that is thrown out the window. So that's that's one example of what I mean by an evolutionary upgrade. We are changing, and therefore society changes. So, it isn't woo-woo, it's biology, what's happening. But how is it happening? And why is it happening? Why now? That is one of my favorite questions. I ask all the time when I see stuff and hear stuff. I'm like, why now? Why now? And then I dig and I find out. Well, the short answer is that it's the energies around us that are upgrading us. So for some people who are doing their inner work, they're doing personal development, like, they're working on their physical body, they're working on their emotions, they're working on their mindset, they're developing spiritually, they're handling it a lot better. The rest of the people who literally have done nothing, physically they are falling apart, emotionally they are a roller coaster, their mindset is in the gutter, there is no spiritual evolution happening for them. And so these energies that are around, they literally do not feel good in their skin. And so they strike out. They strike out, they get angry, they get divisive. Everybody's to blame. They're always pointing fingers. Everybody's to blame. You're to blame, for my life and this, that, and the other thing. Whereas the people who are working on themselves, they realize that they are in control of their life, not anybody else. So there's no pointing fingers. You point the fingers within. And so, I realized, which culminated in creating the Sacred Shift, that the more that we understand and work with the energies and engage in what I just call spiritual self-improvement, the better we feel. Because when you know what's happening, you can look at it and you can look at how you're feeling on a given day and say, oh, I know what's happening. And so I have an entire community where they're like, oh, yeah, now I know what's happening. So I mean, and I just look at it like, have you ever done something that was painful, but when you got on the other side of it, you were a better person? I mean, one of the best examples is childbirth. Painful for everybody. Everybody's screaming their head off. But when it's over, you have a beautiful baby. Another example is you go work out at the gym. The first time you work at the gym, you're in pain. You're in pain, and you're probably saying to yourself, why do people do this? I'm never doing this again. But if you keep going, you get your muscles trained. Okay. So, what we're doing here as humans, and what is really happening on planet Earth, is we are clearing out millions of years of ancestral energies. I want you to think your ancestors. I mean, we're just clearing. It's a lot of dark, dense energies that's being given permission to surface. And and I was talking about this in the Sacred Shift on Sunday. I'm like, as humans, we have stuffed down a lot of bad things, never dealt with them really, when you think about it. And now they're bubbling back up, and everybody's like, why is this happening again? I mean, we never really dealt with the whole Holocaust. We never really dealt with terrorist attacks. And so every time we remember and have remembrance ceremonies, we are literally ripping open the wound and preventing it from healing. And so we're starting to see things resurface that we thought we were over and done with. And we're seeing kind of a backswing of energy. It's like, wait a minute. We thought we were at this part of our evolution, and now all of a sudden things are going backwards. So there's a lot of this clearing out of this energy, clearing out of, it's called ancestral rage. It's not your rage, it's not my rage, it's ancestral rage. It's just coming out. Um, Clearing out a lot of oppression, clearing out a lot of control, of people and groups that have been historically suppressed. And those who are stuck in what I called old belief systems. So these are belief systems that, you know, let me backtrack. Our belief systems are set in us before the age of 7, before we even know what a belief system is. We've already had them ingrained through family, church, schools, community, institutions, education, all sorts of things. So we have opportunities our whole life to change our belief systems. And some people do, and a lot of people don't. So those who are stuck in old belief systems, those old belief systems don't work in this new energy. And so people who, are struggling with that and unwilling to rethink their position. I mean, changing your mind is one of the best things in the energy shift. It's like, oh, I have new information. I'm changing my mind. Because you're flowing. You're flowing. You're not stuck. When you're stuck in a mindset, stuck in a belief, you're stuck. And so those who are stuck in the old beliefs and unwilling to rethink a position and unable to flow with changes, people who say, I'm not good with change, and they just want to get back to normal. I don't even know what that means. They're just going to continue to experience discomfort and have more to complain about and more to strike out against. And then if you are working on yourself and elevating yourself, but that energy is coming at you, you could be dragged down by it, okay? Because we're all energy beings. So what I'm seeing, and this was a new observation I had, is we literally have a black hole where this old energy, people are just getting sucked into this black hole. And all right, okay, there's just, they can get themselves out if they want to, but don't get yourself sucked into it, is the moral of the story. So, those who are, going through this energetic upgrade, they're working on their inner healing, they're doing their spiritual self-development, they're flowing with the energies, realizing we're all connected, for better or for worse. So they're more kind and compassionate, realizing that the energy that you put out is the energy that comes back to you, and it's going to come back threefold. So if you are judgmental, critical, harmful in your words, it's going to come back on you. And those who are kind and compassionate are doing better with the energies because they understand this process that's happening right now. So in reality, we're receiving a DNA upgrade as the earth evolves, and the upgrade comes during specific energies that are around us. I mean, we got all this energy out here. We can't see it, but it influences us. So specific celestial and planetary events like eclipses, and like how many of you enjoyed the April 8th total solar eclipse? Oh my gosh, people like booked hotels a year in advance who have no knowledge of any of this stuff. And I was just jumping up and down. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to get a little upgrade from that. The Northern Lights that arrived last month, May 10th and 11th was the height of it. In areas where we don't see Northern Lights, that's part of it. That's part of it. Retrograde energies, certain dates have very positive energies that are coming in. And, I was explaining this to somebody who was having a hard time understanding it. And I said, okay, it's like you call your electrician to look at the circuit breaker in your house, and your electrician looks at it and says, oh no, we need an upgrade. We need to upgrade your amps. And so the electrician goes in and does the things and upgrades it. That's what's happening to us. Okay, to think that humans have not evolved and will not evolve is not correct. Humans are always evolving. We're getting a DNA upgrade. And so that April 8th total solar eclipse, the northern lights, these are coronal mass ejections, solar flares, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. They are coming in strong. We're going to have a strong retrograde season this summer. And then the summer energies in general are abundant energies because it's the sun. I mean, think about the sun gives life, the sun gives energy. For those of us, I live in Michigan. We don't get a lot of sun in Michigan. So when we do, we go outside and we're crazy. We're so happy. Oh my gosh, it's like turning on the light. It's awesome to see what happens to Michiganders. So right now, nobody in Michigan's working. I mean, basically, Michigan took the summer off, and we'll come back after Labor Day because we're enjoying the sun. So that's what I mean by an upgrade. So when you can ground your energy, you are stable, you are secure. You're not filled with anxiety or depression. You feel rooted and you're strong during changes and you can handle changes. It's like the tree that has deep roots and can withstand a hurricane. And then simultaneously, when you can raise your energy, because I'm going to talk about what the earth is doing, and the earth is raising her frequency. And you can either go with it or not. But when you raise your frequency, you're working with the new energies. You're integrating your DNA upgrade. You're going to see the chaos, but you're not sucked into it. You're going to see things that happen in the world because you're not sticking your head in the sand, So you're going to see it, but you're not going to live it. And you actually help others and you help the energies by simply shining your light with your lifestyle and your energy and your positivity and flowing with the change. Because right now, there is a strong population of people that I'm just going to say they're just going into a black hole of complaints and grievances, and everything is wrong, and this person is responsible, and this institution is responsible, and this business is responsible, and they're just pointing fingers, and it's like they're going down the drain. They're going down the drain because they can't survive in this shift that is happening. So, okay, so what are these shifting energies that are influencing us here on planet Earth right now? So you probably know that everything is made of energy. And so as humans, and even our pets, are highly influenced by unseen energies around us. And energies can impact us from unusual locations. So do you have trouble sleeping during the full moon? I do. Oh my gosh, full moon energy. I'm like on fire. It's like, let's write a book. Like, let's create a new class. But I can't sleep very well during full moon energies. Okay. I don't have to understand it necessarily. I do understand it, but I don't have to understand it to know that a full moon keeps a lot of people energized. Crime rates actually go up. I mean, that's been tracked and mapped like crazy. Have you ever had a day, especially recently, like in the last couple of months, where you were angry or sad or agitated or just really off and you had no explanation? And you're like, man, why am I just off today? Energies around you. Are you finding that the foods and the drinks that you once loved, you no longer are interested in them? You no longer can tolerate them. Maybe your body is fighting back, or you just don't want them anymore. I literally had that conversation at a networking group today, where a friend of mine said, "I just don't drink alcohol anymore. I just have no interest in that, and it can't even pinpoint it to anything. And I looked at her, I'm like, it's the energy shift. Because her DNA is changing. She just, for her, she just can't. Do you find that your friend groups are changing? Or if you have your own business, your business is changing. You're radically changing things that you're doing. The things that you're interested in are changing. So here's the interesting thing. Humans are just energy frequency. So get this, this just blows my mind every time I think about this. A human being is 99.9999999% empty space, which is another word for just energy. We are only and I have to count on my fingers, 0.000001% solid matter. That has been scientifically proven. We are energy. We are energy. Our atoms are just energy that create this physical body. It's amazing. Our whole world is energy. Everything that has ever been created is energy. And energy can also be unseen, and energy frequency impacts other energy frequency. It's how you can, meet up with a friend, and if your friend is happy and excited about something, you're going to be lifted up by that energy. But if that friend starts venting, complaining, whining, that friend's going to drag your energy down. That's how frequency works. So humans and animals, our beloved pets, are very influenced by the energies from our planet and on our planet, as well as what's happening in our universe. We got all these planets. And then there's many, many universes. I mean, there's over 100 billion galaxies. Our Milky Way is one of 50 galaxies, lined up with about 2,500 neighboring galaxies. I mean, we're just this little blip of a planet that's being bombarded by so much energy that we can't see. And it's hard for our left logical brain to understand what we can't see. Okay? Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. We can't see the law of gravity. Heck, we may not even really understand the ins and outs of the law of gravity, but we know it keeps our feet firmly planted on the earth. So there are things that we can't see, that we may not understand, but it doesn't mean that they don't exist. And this is the world that I like to delve into and discover. So let's talk about some of the things that are influencing right now. So I want to talk first about Schumann resonance. So I'm going to touch on a handful of things, and I want to share this information from a science perspective to help you understand that you are not going crazy. I mean, I had a couple of people email me who registered for this, and they all said, hey, I can't make it. Please send me the recording because everyone around me is losing it. Like, there's so much turmoil. I don't want to be around them. I don't know how to help them. I don't know if I can help them. I mean, I'm just hearing this repeatedly from people, that there is just kind of an ungluing of the human being that's happening. So I'm sharing this information to help you understand that you are not going crazy if you feel that way. But it may help explain if you feel physically unwell and there's no explanation for it. If you feel emotionally imbalanced, if you just feel mentally off and your mindset is in the toilet, there are things that you can do to feel better. Once you understand this, and this is the stuff that we talk about in the Sacred Shift, it's just awesome. So let's talk Schumann resonance. So the Schumann resonance is the Earth's frequency. Historically, since it's been tracked since 1952, it has historically been at the vibration of 7.83 hertz. Not no more. Not no more. So it has been spiking and crashing multiple times a week since January of 2017. And there have been some spikes that have been as high as 150 hertz. Remember, 7.83 was the standard base. It's gone as high as 150. Now we are, because it's still, the Earth is fluctuating, the Earth is evolving. Okay, we know the Earth has evolved. I mean, when the Earth was created, she was, and I call her a she, she was water and minerals. The minerals became rocks, and then became crystals, and then became land, and then we have water. So the Earth evolves. So the Earth is going through an evolution, and her frequency is changing. And it's measured. NASA measures it. A lot of different, there's a lot of different sensors around the planet that measure the frequency. So we have been experiencing spikes and crashes, spikes and crashes. So doesn't that look like a roller coaster? And a lot of people feel like they're on a roller coaster because they are not grounded and they are not raising their frequency at the same time. Okay. So I track the Schumann resonance because I can track certain events to spikes and crashes. I mean, economic spikes and crashes go along with the Schumann resonance. Mass violence, mass shootings, earthquakes, wars. I can track them to the Schumann resonance. It's not predictive. I have to look at it after the fact and say, oh, look at that spike. What's interesting, once we had the big solar flares starting May 10th and 11th that had all those beautiful northern lights, the frequency of the Earth, it's still a little jiggly, but look over here on the far right of the screen. I don't know if you can see where my cursor is, right there. See how it's elevated? Much more elevated than the beginning of the year. So this is why I say there's certain events that happen that upgrade our frequency, upgrade us because they upgrade the planet. So, when the Schumann's resonance is spiking and crashing, it's like we're living in a snow globe, and snow globe is just being shaken. A lot of people are literally getting sick to their stomach, and they're not grounded enough to handle it. But if you are like a very grounded tree, you can withstand the hurricane and the windstorm. It's like, it's no big deal. You got deep roots. Okay, so I am going to talk about grounding. All right, so this is going on that influences us. And remember, we are primarily energy, and the physical matter in our body, we are 70% water. So take your water glass and start shaking it. We are basically a snow globe. So that's what happens. And that's why a lot of people are angry, agitated, full of grievances, sick, emotionally imbalanced, no motivation, mindset in the gutter, because they're living in a snow globe and they're not grounded. And so they're riding this roller coaster. They're not even belted in. They're screaming their heads off. When you ground your energies, you ride the roller coaster, you're belted in, you still may be screaming, but you get to the end and you think, oh, let's do it again. Okay, so that's Schumann resonance. All right, let's talk solar flares. Woo! All right, so the sun goes through 11-year solar cycles. And at the beginning of the cycle is called solar minimum, and at the end of the cycle, it's solar minimum. But in the middle, there's about 2 to 2.5 years, which is what is called solar maximum. And that means the sun is very active. There's a lot of solar flares. Now, the sun is always giving off solar flares. But when in solar maximum, we get the big, they're called the coronal mass ejections, or X-class solar flares. There's A, B, M, and X solar flares. X are the big ones. So the start of our solar cycle was 2019. So in 2019 and 2020, we had no X-class coronal mass ejections, 0. Because it was solar minimum. The sun was really quiet. She's kind of sleeping. She put off a little puff here and there. No big deal. When we get X-class, the coronal mass ejections, it's highly reactive plasma, which when it hits Earth, it bubbles up energy, like really frenetic energy. And for some people, they can feel agitated, they can feel angry, there's an increase in violence, it coincides with protests and mass violence and wars. There's a whole field of study called heliobiology that studies the impact of the sun on the earth and humans and animals and plants. I mean, it is a straight up field of study. This is not woo-woo. So it can take a few days for a solar flare to reach us, and whatever part of the earth is faced in the blast is going to get the brunt of it. We just entered solar maximum. So 2024 and 2025 and a little into 2026, we're getting blasted. And that's why we saw those beautiful aurora borealis in May. And we're continuing to get them. Solar maximum. So on the screen, I screenshotted this just a couple of hours ago, the top 15 solar flares of 2024, all X-class. Actually, the top 30 solar flares are X-class. We are only 5 months into 2024. We are like 5 months into this solar maximum, and we already have 30 X-class coronal mass ejections. Bam! In 2019 and 2020, there were none. So it's, you got to get grounded. You got to get grounded. People who are ungrounded are literally getting their circuit breaker fried. Zzz. I mean, even airplanes fly around coronal mass ejections. The internet gets zapped. I mean, I don't know if you're noticing issues with internet lately. Yeah, I mean, it has a physical reaction. Remember, we are 99.9999999% energy. And the small amount of us that is physical matter, 70% of that is water. So take your water glass. Zzz. We are very receptive to these energies, all right? Okay, let's keep going. You having fun? Who's having fun? I'm having fun. All right, summer, we are going to have a lot of retrograde influences. So our Earth influences us, the moon influences us, the sun influences us. Okay? I think we all feel that. Other planets also influence us because everything is made of energy. Okay? And when there is, you know, physics tells us that every action, every movement creates another reaction, another movement. So some people, you know, say that looking at planets and astrology is nonsense. I can tell you from my experience, I have spent decades tracking planetary movements, and I can relate what astrology says to what is actually happening. I see it. I see it play out. And it's like, oh, look, they're having a Pluto retrograde moment. I can literally see it. And it gives me an explanation. It doesn't mean that certain things are okay, especially when bad things happen, but I can look at it and start making some sense, because otherwise, who wants to live on a planet and think this is just chaos, and you know, a lot of people don't even want to be part of that. It's like, we're going through a growth process, okay? Just don't give up, you know, hang on and hang in there. So when a planet goes retrograde, it actually looks like the planet is going backwards in the sky. It's not, but just from our viewpoint, it is. And so retrogrades give us a time to have a second glance at something, to review, to reassess, redo, renew, REs. It's all the re's: review, reassess, redo, renew. Okay. So a lot of planets tend to go retrograde once a year. I think a lot of people know about Mercury retrograde because that's when communication and technology and travel go bzz, and things go wrong. And that happens about 3 times a year. But the retrogrades the last 2 years have been very intense, unlike anything I have ever seen. And we are coming up into the 2024 retrograde season. So if you just know what this is, you may see it playing out. Okay, I'm not asking you to study astrology or buy into this, but you're going to start seeing this. And that's, to me, that's important when you can look at something new and then start seeing it play out. It's like, well, you know what? I don't need a double-blind peer-reviewed study to tell me something. I'm seeing it play out. Okay. So for 2024, we had it really easy the first 5 months. And now it's going to get a little intense. And so we talk about this a lot in the Sacred Shift. So right now we've got one planet in retrograde, and we are coming up to having quite a few in retrograde this summer. So I'm just going to go through this really, really briefly. You can certainly research this more if you want. You know, each planet has an energy to it, and man, there are just some brilliant astrologers out there who really explain so that our left logical brain can really understand, you know, what does this planet represent? What do the zodiac signs represent? And when you put them together, then you get a theme. So Pluto is retrograde in Aquarius right now, and the big question it's asking us, and I'm seeing it in people, is what have you buried deeply in your subconscious that needs releasing, needs healing, especially something shameful, something dark. A lot of inner child issues coming out. We're in that right now. And I know it's influencing people because I'm hearing it in their questions and I'm hearing it in their words of what they're telling me. And it's like, oh, you're having a Pluto retrograde moment. This is great. Release. Let it go. Let it go. So these are all good. I never fear retrograde energies. I actually get very excited. It's like, yes, we're going to have some awesome energy. It's going to be super strong. It's going to shake up the collective. We're going to release all the crap. Because I think we're all sick. We're sick of crap. It's going to release it. Just don't get caught in the crossfire. And this is all beneficial. So I get very excited going into retrograde season. Okay, Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Saturn wants us to work hard and be disciplined. So it's going to bubble up some excessive behaviors that we may have that are not beneficial for us, hunkering down, doing what we need to do, what we know we need to do, setting better boundaries and learning to say no. No is one of my favorite words. I have a healthy relationship with the word no. And so these are the lessons that are going to happen starting June 29th, going until November 15th. When Neptune goes retrograde in Pisces, we will have a lot of deep introspection, and we will find our own personal reality check. This is where beliefs start changing, opinions start changing, what you once loved or supported or did is going to change because you're just going to find yourself being more introspective and saying, yeah, I don't like that. I don't believe in that. And things start changing. So Neptune is all dreamy like that. Chiron, now Chiron's technically not, it's a dwarf planet. Most people don't talk about Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. So when Chiron goes retrograde, all your inner wounds are like, hello, I'm here. I'd like to be released because I'm wreaking havoc in your body. And I don't want to do that to you, but you keep busying yourself and numbing yourself by binge watching Netflix rather than working on the inner wound. Well, when Chiron goes retrograde, you're going to be doing the inner work. You're just naturally going to find yourself doing it. So that's what I love about this. Like, I stick these dates in my calendar, and then I'll look at what I'm doing, and it's like, oh, I'm having a Chiron retrograde moment. Like, I just took a class, or, you know, my business coach said something, or, you know, I did this or I did that. It's like, oh, look at that. You start finding this stuff playing out. All right. And then our beloved Mercury in retrograde, it's actually going to retrograde in 2 zodiac signs, Virgo and Leo. But when Mercury goes retrograde, it's usually about miscommunication. And this time it's going to hit relationships. So think before you speak, especially on social media. That's kind of the rule of the game with that. When Pluto, which is in retrograde, it's going to switch out of Aquarius and go back into Capricorn, which is where it was since 2008. And man, Pluto sitting in Capricorn just bubbled up everything, like literally unearthed everything. Like it was almost like a big energetic earthquake. And it's like, yeah, we don't like all of these structures that we have. So let's just cave everything in and start fresh. Well, it's going to go back into that energy. So it's like the final hurrah of old energy trying to stay alive. So I'll tell you, September 1st through October 11th, I am just going to be sitting in my little crystal room with my cats. And it's like, I literally do not want to know what is going on around me. I am going to stay in my happy place because it's the final hurrah of like really dark, greedy, patriarchal, nasty energy. All right. Get your crystals, get your oils, get your Hallmark movies, get your pets. That's all you need. That's all you need. Because that's gonna be some crazy energy. And then poof, gone. Like, release it, let it go. We don't need that crap anymore. And then, and I'm only really going through, well, I'm not hitting all of them. There's others that happen. But I just wanted to get us up until Labor Day. So when Uranus goes retrograde in Taurus, boy, Uranus likes to shake things up. Some people call it revolution, other people call it innovation. It just depends on what timeline you're on. We think artificial intelligence is making big changes right now. I don't know. There's some stuff coming, but Uranus is all about change. And, you know, I talked about the timelines. We got major shifts and dimensional shifts happening, upgrades happening, and things that once had meaning are going to feel irrelevant. Because with Uranus, after chaos comes beauty. So that's why I don't fear any of this stuff. I know when to just be in my happy place and let it unfold. Watch how I'm, you know, reacting, watch what I'm doing, and then I can map it to this stuff. It's so fascinating. I'm so intrigued by it. It's so fascinating. So, all right. And then, I mean, this is beyond summer, but we will start our eclipse season. We usually get 2 eclipse seasons a year, and it's where you have a lunar and a solar eclipse paired. Well, we get a lunar, solar, lunar triple pairing this fall. And the short story is that eclipses are strong energy, they're transformative. they bring heightened energy for transformation. So I'm still seeing the energies play out from the April 8th total solar eclipse. Lots of transformation. And it's just fascinating to sit back and just watch it. It's like, ooh, look at that. I feel like I'm watching a parade some days. All right, so that's just kind of a brief outline of some of the stuff that's going on. Plus, we have everybody else's reactions that can influence us. We're not, covered in a, shining coat of armor. We are influenced by other people's energies. So, how can you handle this? Well, first and foremost, you have to be grounded. I just did a 4-part series I put it on all my social media platforms about the energy shift, emotional triggers, and being grounded. People who are being emotionally triggered are not grounded. They are not grounded at all, period. And so they're not handling the energy shift well, because when you are triggered, instead of pointing the finger and saying, you triggered me, you look within and ask, why did this trigger me? And that's where the healing happens. But you got to be grounded. So being in nature, putting your bare feet on the ground, connecting with the Earth's rising energy, ride her roller coaster. And you can heal and release triggered emotions and anxiety just by being grounded. So that's big. I mean, I remember the days when, I worked in an office, couldn't open the windows, fluorescent lights. I was there 12 to 14 hours a day, as an attorney, and I got sick. You can't live like that and be healthy. So we have to be in nature and we have to be grounded. Drinking lots of water, which I've been drinking water throughout this presentation, because it keeps the energy moving in your body. Because remember, we are 70% water. We need water. We need water. Give yourself quiet time, meditation time, prayer time, whatever you want to call it. Every day. Every day. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. If you do not have 5 minutes every day, then you and I need to have a conversation about your priorities. I will help you with that, because I used to be like that. I was so busy. Yeah. As soon as you get off that hamster wheel, you still get everything done, but you don't have the busyness. And you will find the time for the inner work, for the meditation, the prayer, the quiet time, whatever you want to call it. Settle into a routine, and you will be able to hear your inner voice and hear guidance. So many people come to me and say, Allie, I have no intuition. Well, yeah, you do. You're just not hearing it. And you're not trusting it, and you're second guessing it. So when you quiet your mind, that's when you get your aha moments, you get great ideas, you get messages, you all of a sudden just start doing things, and it's always right. Okay, quiet time. We need that. We need white space in our calendar. Gone are the days of I'm so busy. Gone. We cannot be in that energy anymore. That actually puts you on the timeline. Remember I talked about the 2 timelines? That puts you on the timeline that you do not want to be on. Be gone with the busy. We also need to work on our emotional wounds. So you know what they are for you. Everybody knows what they are. When you're triggered, look within. Like, get quiet, don't say anything, look within, get curious. Don't shame yourself, don't berate yourself. Get curious. Ask yourself, why am I reacting? And then pretend like you're like a third party, just like looking at it like, maybe that's why I'm reacting. That's where the healing comes. So whatever is triggering you is ready to heal. It's like at the surface, it's ready. So just heal it, let it go. I'm going to talk about oils and crystals in a little bit, but there's a lot of things that you can do. I'm just going to talk about a couple of things. The next thing is believe in your intuition. And this comes from detoxing your entire energy field, starting with your physical energy field, which is your physical body, so that you're clear. Because if I was just saying this the other day, if you treat your body like a junkyard, you're going to get junkyard results. It's one, I don't know why I say that. It cracks me up when I say it. But when your body doesn't feel good, you can kiss your intuition goodbye. It's not going to happen. That's the first line of defense. Nobody's perfect. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Nobody's perfect, but do the things that you know that you need to do. Like stop eating the food that you know you're reactive to. You know, eat healthier for what you can do. Like little steps go a long way. Drinking water is a little step that goes a long way. But this is the first step. And cleanse and detox body, mind, spirit, working on your emotions, working on your mindset, work with your crystals, work with your oils, and then you will start to trust the whispers, the aha moments, the messages, the ideas that come into your head, and you will take action and not second guess. And that's intuition. That's intuition. And it's never wrong. Intuition is just never wrong. It may look crazy to the outside world, but it's never wrong. The next thing is learning to discern your own truth. I mean, be discerning of what other people tell you. Those are their beliefs. You don't know what timeline they're on. Okay. So just always do your own research. I just continue to see stuff. And I mean, I don't really scroll social media anymore. I do scroll TikTok because I get a lot of cat videos. I get videos of donkeys. I'm watching this adorable baby monkey with her bunny rabbit. That's what I get on TikTok. So it just brings me so much joy to watch them. But when you see something, before you share it, spend 30 to 60 seconds looking online at all different sources to see if it's true. I mean, there's websites that actually fact check. So, I mean, it's just amazing what is out there. And I just look at it and it's like, oh, that, mm-mm, mm-mm. So you don't need to get wrapped up in that, but you'll learn to be discerning of truth, and that will start shifting how you feel about everything. It's really important that we all shine our light during this time. And, it's not faking it till you make it and, toxic positivity. No, we all have things to be grateful for and positive things going on. You could have bad things going on. I mean, I'm still in the grief process about my parents, but I also have really great things going on. And when you share that, when you shine your light, it can help other people. It changes the energy. You're literally changing the energy. So people around you who may be negative and getting sucked into that black hole, just by shining your light naturally, it's going to make a big difference, because words don't persuade. How you show up and how you live your life is persuasive. So shine your light and, express your authentic self by sharing whatever you want to share about your life. I mean, you don't have to share everything. There's a lot of my life that I don't share on social media, but heck, I'm going to share about my cats. It is National Hug Your Cat Day, by the way. Did y'all post about that? That's shining your light. That's being authentic for the cat lovers here. So, share what empowers you. Not the bad stuff that happens. We all have bad stuff that happens, but how do you pull yourself up? What are the solutions? What empowers you? What inspires you? You know, basically like what I'm doing here with all of you, sharing all this information. And then clear the energy in your home. Crystals, essential oils, energy healing, plants, you know, this is going to help other people. It's going to help your pets. It's anybody in your home. They're going to feel it. They are absolutely going to feel it. So these are some things that you can do. So one of my favorite sayings is speak and pray to the solution, not the problem. So if you're stuck or if things are going wrong, don't get stuck, okay? Because you're going to get stuck in the old energies. You know, manifesting is so strong right now, especially in summer. I mean, the sun, just the sun energy alone of summer, from now up until the summer solstice, which is June 20th, we are at the height of abundance, manifesting energies. Oh my gosh. I mean, tap into it. And if you focus on the good that's happening, it's going to raise your vibration. And that is speaking to the solution. You know, instead of focusing on problems, take a problem and just focus on how can I get around this? How can I solve this? Be curious about things. And that is speaking and praying to the solution rather than the problem. Because what I see on, and I unfollow a lot of people because all I see is complaining. And it's like, oh my gosh, do you have a solution? Like, you want to be focused on a solution or do you just want to complain? Complain will take you into the black hole. Okay. So it doesn't mean that we deny our problems. It's okay, got a problem. What's the solution? How can I get myself out of this? Because then you'll get unstuck. So if you made goals at the beginning of the year, especially if you took my visioning for 2024 class, have you looked at your workbook every month? Have you looked at it recently? How are you doing on your goals? Are you making progress? Have you forgotten about them? Are you stuck? When you get solution driven, rather than focusing on what you don't have, that's when things shift. Okay. So let's talk essential oils. All right. If you have an essential oil, feel free to snort along with me. All right. So I literally could give you 1,000 different crystals and hundreds of essential oils to work with. My philosophy is work with what you have. Work with the ones that you're drawn to, because if you are drawn to an oil or drawn to a crystal in that moment, they are telling you, work with me, work with me. Okay. So let's talk about, and I'm going to go through the list that I just gave you of things to do. And I want to give you some oils and crystals that will tap into those things. So, okay, you need to transform your energy. Neroli, I'm going to give you a single oil and a blend, except on one of these, I'm giving you 2 blends. So Neroli is a single oil. Transformation is a Young Living blend. So Neroli is an ancient oil of transformation. That's what it is known for. It clears out old emotions, helps you let go of the past, helps you not worry about the future. It helps you to manifest and self-actualize into who you're supposed to be. And it's really good for emotionally intense and highly sensitive people, especially if you get exhausted by other people. Neroli. All right. Transformation blend. Absolutely, for me, my number one, and it has been my number one for a decade. Oh my gosh, I love this oil so much. And it's for those moments when you hear that little voice telling you, you're crazy. You're not worthy. You can't do this. That voice just tries to keep you where you're at. This oil cleans out the emotions, the beliefs, and the blocks that are in your way, because you're given opportunities every day. You're just not taking them. Transformation rips off the sunglasses so that you see, and you'll take them, and it transforms old belief systems. If you want to work on your intuition, kind of working on your inner self, I like Sacred Frankincense and the Awaken blend. So Sacred Frankincense has a higher frequency than what I call regular Frank, because it's higher in alpha-pinene. And, you know, this oil moves chi energy in the body. It deepens your breath and really can move you out of ego thinking and shift you into intuitive thinking. The Awaken blend helps with meditation, helps with visualization and manifesting, and stimulates your right brain, which is where creativity and intuition are. So that's a very powerful oil. Now, for healing emotional wounds, this is part of the energy shift. We got to heal. If you don't want to heal, you're just not going to feel comfortable in your skin. So we're all being asked to heal our wounds. And you can do it. You can do it. You can go to a professional, certainly, if you want to, but you can also work on this yourself as best as you can. Rose is the deepest heart healer, okay, for forgiveness and releasing fears. And an alternative is Palmarosa. Palmarosa is such an unsung hero. I love that oil. It really has a nurturing mother energy to it and helps to eliminate fear and worry and stops the heart from shutting down when there's chaos. And then the release oil, I mean, the name says it all. Whatever you want to release, name it, use the release oil, let it go. Especially if you've been feeling a lot of anger and you do not know where the anger is coming from. Could be ancestral. Let it go. Do not let it sit in your body. All right, for discerning truth, you know, a lot of people are saying to me, Allie, I just don't know what's true anymore. Well, you do. You're just not trusting your intuition. So intuition and discerning truth go together. So I like Roman chamomile and Gary's Light blend. So Roman chamomile calms and stills your mind so that you can hear. And when you can calm and still your mind and not be so busy, you just know. You know you know what's true. You can literally see something and say, well, that's not true. You just know. And you can look at something else and say, oh, that is true. Okay. Roman chamomile really helps with that. Okay. Smear it all over your forehead. Gary's Light is another good one. And, you know, this blend was specifically created to help us with discernment so that we know what's true and right for ourselves. Okay. So opens your mind, gives you perspective. All right. To shine your light, if you feel like I just want to hide under a rock, I do not want to be shining my light to anybody. Okay. That's not helping the person that you could help, your next door neighbor, your friend, your family member. Shine your light. Maybe their light will shine, and so on and so on and so on. So I like Rise Above. That's what I was snorting. This, it just helps you rise above the chaos. It just gives you an elevated point of view. It's like you're in an airplane and you're looking down and it's like, oh, that's what's going on. Yeah, I'm not getting involved in that. I'm staying up here. It raises your frequency and it gives you the courage to think differently and to look at your future from a higher vibration. Valor, we all know Valor. It's the oil of courage and confidence, and it's just going to help you show up and shine your light. Go for your goals and to help others to go for their goals and shine their light. Now, to be authentic, like to be a higher version of yourself and show up authentically, I like Cassia and Highest Potential. So Cassia just really helps you connect to who you are at a soul level. And that you have a path to walk. And it's going to align you with that path. Highest Potential also connects you at a soul level to your highest self and releases the limiting beliefs that hold us back. Because at a soul level, it's like, why are you holding back? Why are you digging your feet in the ground? This is a great, great oil to work with. It's very powerful. And then to be grounded and raise your vibration at the same time. You can do it at the same time because that's what we have to do, right? We have to stay grounded. And because the earth is fluctuating, we have to fluctuate with her. We need to be able to raise our frequency. I like the Northern Lights black spruce. Other brand of oils, they're black spruce. They are not anywhere close to the Northern Lights black spruce because the Northern Lights black spruce is constantly infused with the Northern Lights. We all felt something with the Northern Lights that we experienced in May. Those trees get it all the time, and it's infused into the oil. So it's deeply grounding, yet it raises your energy and just releases the blocks that hold you back. It's a very, very protective oil too. It just feels amazing. And then the Sacred Mountain Blend helps to get you grounded so that you can re-energize if you're feeling depleted, exhausted, overwhelmed, anxious, depressed. You just feel rooted, like a mountain, like just very, very strong and grounded and confident and more centered. But remember, mountains go high up in the air, so it also raises your energy. So you just walk stronger, taller, more confident when you're working with Sacred Mountain. All right, let's talk crystals. And again, you can work these oils and crystals together. Now, some of these you're not going to want to blend together, but you can diffuse the oil, wear the oil, and hold the crystals. So that's a whole nother class that I don't have time to get into. So let's just talk about transforming your energy. Clear quartz. Clear quartz, its only job is to move energy in your body, which clears blocks. All right. I personally like to work with Himalayan, Lemurian, or Tibetan quartz. They are higher vibration than just your everyday quartz. I also like epidote, especially if epidote is in quartz. So epidote is a crystal of transformation. It is also known as a crystal of increase. So it's going to increase the energy of what you are. So if you're kind of going down the black hole, you want to do some mindset work and then work with epidote to increase being of whatever mindset you want to have. But it is a tremendous crystal of transformation and shifting and increasing into what you want. And when it's embedded in quartz, quartz amplifies everything. So, woo. All right, let's go to increasing your intuition, connecting with your inner self. I like celestite and kyanite. Celestite opens your intuition. You can communicate with your higher self, with spirit, with God, with source, with everything, because it slows the mind chatter and sharpens that intuition. And then kyanite, same thing, increases intuition. It's very deeply relaxing because we got to calm the chatter in our brain so that we just know what our intuition is telling us. To heal emotional wounds, I like danburite, either pink or white danburite, and I like prehnite. So danburite is a powerful heart healer. Helps with ancestral healing, karmic healing, all of the healing that you need to do, all the deep wounds. It is a powerful crystal. And prehnite, also heart healing, full of unconditional love towards self and others by releasing inner lack. Okay, people who kind of strike out against other people have a lot of inner lack that comes out as grievances. Prehnite is a good crystal. To discern truth, I love apophyllite and azurite. So apophyllite is actually known as the stone of truth. So stick it on your third eye, lay down, watch a Hallmark movie, let it work on you. It's fantastic for intuition and showing truth and taking you into introspection. And azurite just, oh my gosh, it just blows open your third eye intuitive center, brings clarity and new perspective, clears out all the blocks, all the cobwebs that are in there, and really helps you discern truth and understand the reality of your world which is actually created by our thoughts and our beliefs, which is why we have all these timelines and two people can see the same thing, but based on the timeline they're on and their beliefs, they have totally different outcomes. All right, shining your light, Herkimer diamond and selenite. Ooh, love these. So Herkimer diamonds help you see very deeply into yourself so that you can shine your light because you know what your light is. So really a great crystal during stress and chaos and challenges. And then selenite is just pure white light. I mean, this is just such a spiritual crystal that just releases all the stagnant negative energy, just sweep it through your energy field. And I mean, you just hold selenite and you're shining. For authentic higher self and showing yourself authentically, I like the Brandberg quartz and labradorite. So Brandberg quartz is known as a soul reconnection crystal, and it really connects you to your true self and restores you to your true state. It's kind of like a factory reset on your computer. You get a factory reset on you to align with yourself at a soul level. So it really attunes you to your spiritual identity. And then labradorite is a very mystical crystal, high vibrational and grounding at the same time, takes you into really higher awareness, higher consciousness, very intuitive, and it just lights a fire in your soul mission. And then for being grounded and raising your vibration, I like amethyst because it's grounding and high vibrational at the same time. And black tourmaline is just straight grounding. But when you add quartz to it, you raise your vibration. So if you have black tourmaline and quartz, that's a good one to work with. So, all right. So at this point, all right, I want y'all to close your eyes. I want to ask you a couple of questions. And I want you to keep mental track. I'm going to ask you 20 questions, and I want you to keep mental track of how many you answer yes to. All right. Number 1, you're feeling stuck in some or all areas of your life. Number 2, you are lost on your life path and you're questioning what your purpose is, questioning, why am I here? Number 3, you know you're not living to your highest potential and you feel that there's more for your life. Number 4, you're feeling ungrounded, unclear, uncertain of what to do to change things for the better. Number 5, you're feeling physically unwell, imbalanced, depleted, drained. Maybe you have a mystery illness and what you're doing isn't working. Number 6, you're feeling emotionally triggered, overwhelmed, angry, depressed, unmotivated, and what you've been trying isn't working. Number 7, you're feeling the nudge to change, to grow, but you don't know where to start. Number 8, you're an intention-driven person, but haven't felt that way for some while. And you're ready to drop the excuses because you're ready to live the life that you want to have. Number 9, you're ready to learn more about the energies that we talked about tonight. And number 10, you'd love to connect with a like-minded group of people who create a safe space for you to thrive. And we talk about all this stuff. All right, you can open your eyes. So this is the stuff that we talk about in the Sacred Shift. So I just want to spend a minute on this. And if you're interested in joining this, I would ask you to message me first. My web guy is updating the web page and he didn't quite get it done today. So just message me and I'll let you know when it's ready if you want to join us. But this is the sort of stuff that we talk about. Every month we have a sacred lesson. Every month you learn about the specific energies for the month. We talk, about seasons and flowing with the seasons, planetary energies, Schumann resonance, working with universal laws. I go into um, benefits for the body, movement, exercise, food. I give you recipes that are seasonal. We talk about body cleanses. Um, we go into emotions and mindset with crystals and essential oils and talk about chakras and guided meditations and affirmations. And every month is different because every month is different. January is not like August. And so what we do is very different. And it's all wrapped up in one course so that you spend your time wisely and not be busy. Okay. It's a buffet for your soul. You take what you want, you come back for more when you want. So we meet up twice a month online. We have seasonal ceremonies. We're about ready to have our summer solstice ceremony in a couple of weeks. There's a lot of free bonuses. There's discounted events, and it's a safe place to hang out as we all evolve and we talk. We talk, we share, we support each other. It's a very, very safe space. And I make sure it's a safe space. Okay. I've only had to escort one person out of the group, and she knew that she wasn't a good fit. I have to make sure it's a safe space for everybody. But it's an amazing, amazing community. So there's an annual membership and there's a monthly membership. If you look in the bottom right, there's a couple of coupon codes. So I've extended my business is 13. I was running it for May. I decided to take it through 4th of July because I love the 4th of July. 13% off the annual membership with the code 13 off. But don't just go to the website and do that. Message me because I got to make sure that my web guy has everything set because I did a little upgrade to the website. And then if you are in my essential oil group, you actually get 50% off for being in my essential oil group. So again, just message me. So, the sacred shift is not for everybody. It's going to result in some significant shifts, and you have to take a hard look at your life. And if you're ready to do that, this is a good group to be in. This is not a group where you just come in and learn stuff and then do nothing. That's why one person left, because I'm like, you can't just come in and learn and do nothing. That's not what this group is about. We are action takers. We are shifters. We are shifting with the energies. So if you're interested, reach out to me first. It is an amazing group, and over 90% of the members renew each year because they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And they don't try to handle everything at once, but they come back, like they're back for their 3rd June. And they're like, well, now I can work on this thing that I couldn't do last June or the June before or the June before that. And they're getting such value out of it each time. So, other classes that are coming up, y'all are invited to my Oily Crystal Summer Energies class. That is on the Manifested Harmony website. And when I send you the link to this recording, I will send you the link of how to sign up for that if you wish. And then I have other integrated energy therapy. I don't know where I'm going to be living, so I'm just saying in Michigan, I don't know where I'm going to be living. Okay, so I'm just saying that right now because I am actively looking for a house in another location. But I do have online classes already set if you are interested. All right, so I'm going to stop the recording. And if you have any questions, you are welcome to unmute yourself. And for those who watch the recording, thank you for being here. Reach out if you have any questions.